Open your eyes. Reality is but an illusion.
Ten people are dead, 25 are injured after a mass school shooting in Tumbler Ridge, Canada. Police have identified the shooter, but will not release details at this time for, quote, privacy reasons. So since then, they have actually released details about who this person is. It's apparently some sort of trans person. Obviously, people are going off, and as soon as if one trans person does something wrong, that means all trans people do something wrong. We all know this, right? So, one of them fucks up, they all fuck up. So this is, basically all the trans people went on this school shooting. So basically, 10 people got killed. And this is in Canada too. It's not even in America. It's in Canada, and this is it's just insane. The gunman has been identified as a trans biological male, Jesse Strang, and this apparently does seem to be the case. It is true. And this is, I guess, a photo of this person. Suspected shooter in the Denver Tumbler Ridge secondary school shot. Secondary school, isn't that like 13 to like 11 to 14, right? Like, cause I don't know how it is in Canada, right? But I know that in secondary school here, that's like middle school, isn't it? Yeah, I think, right? Or, I mean, is it high school? I have no idea. Oh, it's high school, so it's like 14 to 18, okay. And so, yeah, wow. And so there's at least 10 dead, holy shit. And this is the person 17 years old, went on this shooting rampage. 17-year-old transsexual Jesse Strang has been identified as the Tumbler Ridge secondary school shooter. Holy fucking shit. And there have been, I do think this is really, this is also crazy that it's a Redditor that has posted videos of being violent, and on top of that, they also have posted videos of them shooting things. So this is like basically every stereotype. And I've tried to tell people, I've tried to say over and over and over, we have to get on top of these people. These weirdos that are like advocating for violence, that are talking about shooting people on the internet, everything like that. We've got to get on top of them, man. And if you don't get on top of them, they're going to go out and do shooting rampages. But here's what I think the problem is. I think that a lot of people on the internet are afraid to call this out whenever a trans person is doing it, because they're afraid of assigning a mental illness to a trans person, because they think that there's a lot of transphobia that comes as a result of a person being assigned a mental illness as being trans. So basically, they're overcorrecting and they are intentionally misunderstanding the situation and misappropriating the situation because they're afraid of their language or what they're saying to be weaponized by people that they verbally they politically disagree with, right? It's basically like political correctness, right? So they don't want to say that this is a trans person that like is mentally ill or something wrong with them, because they're trying to like overcorrect from the people that say that all trans people are mentally ill and all trans people have something wrong with them, right? And so the problem is that you are not addressing and looking at things based off of what they are. You're looking at them based off of what you want them to be, or what somebody else says they are, or what you're trying to recalibrate the world into. But at the end of the day, you are misunderstanding the situation on purpose. That's it. Most of them mental illness. I don't listen. I have no problem with trans people. I've said this 1,000 times. But I do think that obviously, like, it's if one of them is crazy, then they're crazy. It has nothing to do with them being trans. It's to do with them being crazy. So I don't think there's really a lot of complication here. Every person who supported them being trans who's underage should be jailed. Well, I mean, this is a huge issue, right? I mean, it's a massive issue whenever you have people. And there's also, I think that there's a false consensus on the internet, even between trans people, that trans people who are very underage, and by very underage, I mean people that are like under, like I'd say 15 or so, under 13 especially, under 12 or before puberty, like 100%, right? A lot of trans people, I think, also object to the idea of transing children, but the reason why I think a lot of them aren't outspoken about it is because if they are, then they're getting hit from both sides, right? So you're still going to get all the people that think that you're, you're still a man, you're still a woman, you know, you can't be this other gender, you're disgusting. And so you're still going to have all the people that hate you. And then you're also now going to have your only community that was on your side now also hate you because you've gone against the group, right? So, like, that's why I think a lot of trans people aren't speaking out against, like, transitioning and things like that. It's because of the peer pressure from it. Now, I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying that I think this is an existing, you know, like an existing pressure that they feel. And it's just what I've observed, right? I mean, I'm not trans, I have no idea. But, like, I'm just, you know, saying, like, okay, this is what logically makes sense. This is why a lot of them aren't saying that. And they'll show up to vote against it. Well, maybe, right? I don't know. And so, Patronicus, thanks for the gift of Black Richard, man. Thank you, man. And so, yeah, they are on top of being outcasted from their peers. Yes, 100%, right? That's fine, but we need to make all this shit illegal. Well, the problem, I agree with you, but I mean, this is also like, this is in Canada, right? So in America. So this is the person who, made this comment, right? And so it got Jess Uru with Hatsune Miku as a profile picture. So people think this is who the person is. I have no idea. So I'm trans, male to female. I'm pre-HRT, 15 years old. And I've been viewing a lot of anime-related content recently, and I was never into it before. The characters are always so cute! I don't want to be 2D or anything like the characters themselves, but whenever it comes to body shape and stuff, I often find myself comparing to their semi-unrealistic, yet still physically possible shape. Specifically whenever it comes to height, BMI, and obviously their chesticles. I'm super skinny, so that sometimes makes me feel kind of good, but I'm also pre-HRT and my expectations are minimal for chest growth, and I'm 6 feet tall. Why can't I be petite and small? I hate to tell you this, buddy, but women are sometimes 6 feet tall too. Like, that's what happens. Yeah, that's the way it is. Like, you can't, listen, you don't have a character creator in life, okay? If you did, why the hell do you think anybody decide to be 5 feet tall, right, if it's a guy? Like, nobody, you just RNG'd into it. Like, that's the way it is. Like, there's women that are 6 feet tall. There's women that aren't, like, I mean, you have these, like, small, you know, cute little girls, and then you have really hot, you know, in my opinion, like, you know, if you have a college volleyball player or something like that, a lot of them are really fucking hot. So, like, I don't think that there's really, like, I mean, do you want steak or ice cream? Well, both of them are really good, even though they're very different. So, like, really, I think that the more that you try to wish that you were a different type of person than you were, the more you're going to hate yourself, right? And so that's it. And, yeah, Toggles, I'm not going to get it. Look, I mean, like, I'm not trying to get in. Like, it depends. I don't want to make anybody feel, as long as I'm not fat, you know what I mean? That's what matters. You're max candidate detectives. So, yeah, I mean, that's it. Why don't people want to be Joe Star? I mean, I think a lot of guys do. Like, listen. I guarantee you that if you looked at the amount of guys, after somebody watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, you know, with like fucking, you know, seasons 1 through 4, or 3 or whenever it was, right? And the Stardust Crusaders. And then how many of those guys went to the gym after that? I think there would be a sizable percentage. I absolutely do. And I think that's the difference, right? Is it's that mindset where it's like, okay, well, you know, if I think this is the way I'm supposed to look, you know, there's a way for you to look this way. Now, obviously, like, I mean, like for me, for example, right? I mean, I'm a very tall guy, but I'm also extremely naturally skinny. Like, my hips are very small. Like, I'm a naturally very thin person. And so, like, being a big, bulky guy, that's also just probably not something that's good for my body. But, you know, again, like, that doesn't mean you can't have other things about yourself that look certain good ways too, right? You're just petite. Yes, in a way, right? I'm 140 pounds. And so, well, and here's the problem, right? Is somebody posted this photo of me. And I want to talk about this photo. This is a really, really big problem, okay? Where is it? Let me see if I can find it. I can't, I'm sorry. Well, anyway, it was a photo of me looking fat, okay? That's what matters. It was a photo of me looking fat, and I totally, completely, absolutely had a crash out over this. And I just stopped eating food. I did. I stopped eating food. My stomach looked bigger than it was, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to have that happen, so I just stopped eating food. And then it went away. It was problem solved. And so you look skinny fat? Like, listen, here's my opinion. I think fat guys can look good. I do. I think that there's plenty of good-looking fat guys, and it's like a whole different perspective. But like, I think
30
there's good-looking
seconds before you
skinny
attack.
guys, but
Get
there are
ready.
no good-looking skinny fat guys. That is never, ever, ever, ever a possibility. It just doesn't exist, right? But like, there's plenty of bigger guys that are chubby chaser. No, I'm being honest. Like, I see there are plenty of girls that talk about how good-looking a guy is, and this guy's like 300 pounds, right? Like, I think it's about body shape and everything else, right? It's just that simple. So no good-looking short guys either. I disagree with that. Look at Tom Cruise. But anyway, you know, so people are going out and they're looking at this. Never let your kids watch anime. Okay, so number one, Matt Walsh is an idiot, okay? But he also, like, if you look at an anime character and you think to yourself, I want to be that character, okay, like, you either do it, or, like, I mean, there are a lot of friends of mine that, like, you know, started working out because of, you know, Dragon Ball Z, right, or something like that. But other than that, no, I don't think so at all. That's just the way it is. So this person went out, okay, so they went out and they shot out, I guess, 10 people, and this is who the person is. And what is this? Birthday, oh my god. So this is 13, this is who it is. The individual in the quoted close below is not the shooter, and is confirmed as shooter. He identified as transgender. Recent photo on the left, aged 14, 2021, pre-transition on the right. Oh man. So this is likely his Reddit account. Check out my oldest son Jesse Strang YouTube channel. He posts about hunting, self-reliance, and guns, and stuff he likes to do.
This is a nice spot.
And this is them. This is a video.
I'll patch you up. Back to my old self.
Behold the god of thunder!
Exploding plasma.
What are you aiming at?
The crazy thing is that, like, he's wearing a shirt, and it's something like, it's some shirt about like a massacre of all these wars. And it's like, bro, like, if you're, well, how do you wear a hoodie and then now you become part of the problem? Like, how do you do this? Like, now you're the problem. Like, what is this? I don't get it. He looks like an idiot. Yeah, he's a fucking idiot. Of course he's a fucking idiot. Like, I mean, anybody that does this shit is out of their fucking mind. It's 100% him. I don't know if that's really it. Let me go back and I want to open this up off screen for an obvious reason. And let's see here. Search through Reddit data. Okay, all of this should be okay. All right, yeah, that should be fine.
You're welcome.
Okay, so this is, and all of this is unconfirmed, by the way. I want to make sure this is very clear. This is all unconfirmed at this current point. So don't go and listen to what I'm saying or talking about here and be like, oh my god, this is for sure it. But right now, somebody has a identified, and it is confirmed, but yeah, but I don't know if this website is accurate. I don't know if this website is distributing things properly, and that's really it. And if you look at this person's username, right, the user has deleted their account. So this person, for some reason, I don't know how they deleted their account, what caused this to happen. So I'll read you some of the titles that they've had here, okay? So could someone theoretically get the effects of a substance off of the addict's urine? I think the answer to that's yes, by the way. I think it's a yes. And so there's one of them, right? Reddit did. And what is this weird red screen that pops up on mine and friends' phones whenever they're idols? Northwest Psychedelics scammed me. So wait a minute. So this is a person that's doing drugs too? So this is an underage trans person who is also doing drugs, and the parents are giving this person a gun? Oh, bro, like, I mean, what are we doing? What the hell is going on? Yeah, I mean, this is really bad. I mean, really, I mean, there should be a degree of accountability for this. Who the fuck does this? The parents are dead now? I don't know if they are or not. I have no idea what happened. And so to hash another asterisk make a stink. And so what's the danger on doing some sort of, I guess, DMT? This is another drug. And sertraline, this is SSRI. Man. Jesus, I have a complete mental oh my god. Holy shit. Like, bro, like, this kid is... Oh, man. Oh my God, is this TOS? What about this is TOS? Like, I mean, it's just literally what happened. I mean, like, what the fuck? So antidepressant known for causing depression? So like, I actually had anxiety and my doctor prescribed me Sertraline. And I took it a couple of times and I was like, oh, this didn't do anything.
You don't have to be a witch to find the magic in this world.
I took it and I was just like, yeah, I mean, I don't give a fuck. Like, it's a waste of my fucking time. And so I didn't even deal with it. Stronger? I don't want to take something that's going to fuck up my head, right? And it takes 2 weeks. I'll take your word for it. And I'm not trying to take anything like that. It takes weeks to have an effect. Good. And it's a good thing I never did that. So it messed my brother up bad. Yeah, I mean, he gave it to me for anxiety. I didn't want to take that shit. But yeah, I had no idea it was an SSRI. I just fucking, took it. That was it. And so I went crazy and burnt my house down the second time trying shrooms, but I have a desire to try alternatives. I just got out of the psych ward months ago, and now I'm here. I'm not schizophrenic. I got diagnosed with, yeah, right, okay. That's it? Oh, only that? Wow. And I blew up their Desert Eagle, and this is the person doing the shooting as well. Not really a big surprise. I think anybody could have expected this, right? And this is insane.
The battle starts in 5.
And probably shouldn't. Yeah, I think so. What's SSRIs? They block different types of brain, like I guess chemical. I think they're like chemical inhibitors with the brain, and it fucks up the way a person thinks. Right? That's basically what it is. Antidepressants. Yeah. And but I'm talking about like how they affect the what do you call it? How they affect the brain. But I don't know about like all the specifics. I'm not a doctor, obviously. First time trying on makeup, and so obviously this is really what it was. Apparently it got deleted. Do I have a good build type for HRT? And this was 15 years old. This was in 2023, so all the timelines would track, especially because it's just the beginning of the year. And so right here, you have somebody. Let me see. Can I load the comments? Man, are you okay? r/trans guns. Man. And now everything got deleted. Wow. What are you aiming at? Jeez. This one looks pretty bad, guys. Take depression seriously, though? Yeah, I use for anxiety. I get anxiety sometimes, to be honest, I do. But, you've got to deal with it, same as everything else. Yeah, what is this here? They scrub the evidence? A lot of social media companies do this. They do it very regularly. Every social media company basically deletes all the information whenever one of these accounts is discovered to be by a shooter or something like this. So, this is just a person saying all this stuff, and like, again, it's really, really bad that somebody is like, this is not the Reddit account of a person who is a reasonable individual, right? And I do think that there's a huge issue with this. 100% him. Wouldn't be surprised. I'm super skinny. And this is apparently a picture of this person. I don't know. Again, like photos like this get posted regularly. And a lot of times it's hard to know who's who or, if this is even a real person. But that's what some people are saying. That's who it is. So where's the rest of it? Are there reasonable people on Reddit? Yeah, they usually get downvoted. The moderators of Trans Guns have deleted the post from the Canadian school shooter. What even is the separate? The amazing Spider-Man. Let me see if I can pull this up. Trans Guns. A message from the mod team. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna see what the mod team has said about this situation. Okay, let me go back, see if there's anything else. And no, okay, posting targets today. Yeah, good. All right, so they've come out with a statement about this. Some of you are wondering why you can't comment or post at this moment. We've turned on some of the enhanced filtering tools because of an impulse of hatred directed at this community from allegations that the tragedy at the Tumbler Ridge School was committed by a former member here. Regardless if that person actually was a member or not, we want to come out and say the team here at Trans Guns does not convey hate, and we would like to see a global net decrease in violence. Trans Guns believes in increasing empathy, remembering your fellow person, and to get back when you can. Firearms aren't the only form of community defense. If an individual cannot follow firearm safety rules, they should not own a firearm. If you're struggling, please help. Please seek help. So, again, I don't know really. I mean, this is all like, yeah, feed the unhoused. A great way to exercise empathy and give back to your community. I mean, I don't think that this, I mean, maybe this is like a hot take, but like, I don't think trans guns is a problematic subreddit, right? I mean, it's definitely a little bit eyebrow raising. Sure, it's a little eyebrow raising, but like, I don't think they should delete it, right? It's not like these people did anything wrong. Like, if I go and I look at, for example, the messages this person posted, I just don't think so, right? I mean, I think that you should have bias sub. Well, what my point is that, okay, let's talk about this a little bit more logically, right? So you have on Reddit, you have a lot of places on Reddit where people are openly calling for violence, people are openly advocating for killing individuals. But ironically, on the trans gun subreddit, I didn't see any of the comments on this post that was doing that. Not a single one of them was doing that. So whenever I look at what people are doing, instead of creating guilt by association, why can't we just look at guilt?
It's good to see you.
These people clearly aren't saying or doing anything wrong. They're not doing, and yes, I understand that there's a second order effect of this, absolutely. But why don't we focus on the first order effects first? It got deleted? No, you're not looking here. So if you see right here, you'll see that these are posts that were made, and they were deleted recently in 2026. This is an archive website, so it's not showing the comments in real time, it's showing what they were. So, did they delete the post before? They had the threads before? Yeah, they did, and that's why all the 2023 ones are still here. It's because very clearly, what do you call it? Very clearly, like, the new ones got deleted, but the older ones did not. It's because trans people know they're already on the edge of a knife. Meanwhile, liberal like Karen's got to go hog wild. Yeah, I mean, again, like, I feel like if you're a trans person, your life is probably more in danger than if you're a white liberal Karen. I think that's definitely true. You know, I think that these are all, like, very, very low probabilities of something bad actually happening to you. But, like, in general, yeah, sure, there's a lot more hostility towards that. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. My point is that there is a huge problem where, oh, actually, let me figure out. He was in a trans forum where he discussed his violent fantasies. Transgenders are a terrorist group. What is this here? I find it addictive. It's hard to not watch violent content. I'm just drawn to it. I don't think much of it. Though to say it doesn't affect me is like naive. Though I'm subconsciously doing it, it just doesn't feel like a big deal. I'm drawn to substances too. So this basically like plays into this person's, it being their Reddit account, right? You can clearly see it's more likely that it's this person's Reddit account. And what's easy to get, it's easy to get high and to zone out into videos and this stuff. Does it impact my mental health? Well, question answered. Yeah, mine's already probably fucked. I tried to stray away from watching this kind of thing because it really sucks me in. It's a massive and less time dump, and a massive useless time dump, but I never really saw any benefit. I think retards in the comment section are more bothersome mentally than the videos that I try not to interact with dorks XD. And so this is a person who's standing out there and saying this stuff. This is obviously like nutball stuff, right? It's recognized that to watch people die, not to transform, but it's a gore site. I mean, the truth is that, and here's the main issue, is that we need to have more red flags and more different ways that the government is able to find these people proactively. I think that right now, the society has a huge stigma and is really afraid of doing any sort of proactive law enforcement. So, like, whenever you see a person who's talking about shooting everybody, and then they're showing videos of buying guns, and then they're saying that they're mentally ill, and then they're also saying that they're doing drugs, and this is all while they're underage, like, that's a lot of red flags, isn't it? So, really, you should just go after this person and take their guns away immediately and maybe put them in an insane asylum. This person's clearly dangerous, and this is the big issue that I have with it, is that whenever you don't hold these people accountable, you will have these people go off and just go on shooting rampages and pop off and go crazy and everything. So, and this is also, keep in mind, this is in Canada. Everybody always blames America for these shootings, but these things happen all over the world. And to the extent that the Western world and the world at large doesn't treat these people like the imminent threat that they are, then you will just have this happen. It's kind of like whenever you have a person that's pulling bullets, it's putting bullets into a chamber of a gun, and they're standing in front of you and they're saying they're going to shoot you. If you shoot them before they shoot you, are you the bad guy? Well, somebody could say, oh, well, they didn't shoot you yet. Yeah, exactly. That's the point. So it's always easy for people to make these like virtuous moral arguments, but at the end of the day, those arguments leave 10 people dead.
The
Or
battle starts in
25
5,
injured. Okay, so
4,
like this is 25.
3,
After a woman
2,
wearing a dress,
1.
woman wearing a dress, that's
All you need
that's
to do is capture the mission
it's a
area.
mental health crisis,
Got
not
it?
a crime one. I think that it's both, right? Because mental health turns into a crime.
Before reality
So like you have a
unravels
mental
around
health
us.
problem and then you go out and you commit crimes. So that's what happens. It's very, very simple, actually. And where is this here? Matt Walsh quote tweets a person. So a person that posted a person's adult content without permission as a form of targeted harassment. The account always addicted to followers. Many of them are underage. I don't even really know. Oh wait, so the Bosch subreddit got mad at Matt Walsh for saying this 3 years ago, but he turned out to be ridiculously right. Wow. How about that?
Don't mess with the amazing
So-
Spider-Man!
I'm gonna pull you up because I always see this comment, and I think it annoys me. This comment annoys me, and so you're gonna get pulled up. Why do you think this is a false flag? What's your logic in this? You're making this
My
random
fate isn't
assumption that
sealed
it's a
yet.
false flag. How have you arrived at this conclusion?
Ah, that's it.
Don't let
So I'm just curious, right? Because like a lot of this just doesn't make sense. The timing is very coincidental. What do you mean the timing is coincidental? What do you mean by that? Please be specific. Don't understand. Trust me, I watch the Bondi stuff. I am. We're building up to it. That's, in my opinion, I think that's a much bigger story than some fucking idiot in
I won't
Canada
make the
shooting
same
up a
mistakes
school,
again.
right? I mean, like, really, it's a much, much bigger story. But this is just another fucking instance of a retard. Never said I was sure. I said it seems like one. I didn't. I know that you aren't sure. Why do you think it seems like one? Stop being vague. Why are these people always so vague? Yes. What do you mean by this?
A disappearing.
I already wrote you out. Yeah. Banner retard? No. I'm just curious, right? Rage baiting you? It is. It's the Epstein news, of course. Why would this seem like a false flag? So you think because Epstein happened, anything that happens during Epstein's a false flag?
That's 3.
So anything that happens while something else is happening is instantly a false flag? Like, think about it for 3 seconds, man.
Don't mess with the amazing
Like, I don't even
Spider-Man!
get it. Like, I mean, you think crime is just like not gonna happen while there's a controversy? Like, that's literally it. So you think that because the Epstein files and also very few Canadians are even really educated, so it's not even logical. And on top of that, wouldn't this even make it worse? Because this is the exact thing that Epstein was saying about transing kids and then subjecting them to like other types of weird traumas as a child. So if anything, this would be drawing more attention to the Epstein files.
Well,
Like, didn't you read them?
all?
Like, this is, I mean, just think about this. Like, think about this logically. Like, what is this? It's just that this conspiracy, like, again, it's just, I hate that kind of stuff. I do. Or they responded again. It's likely not a false flag. It's just coincidental that a trans shooting happens suddenly. What do you mean happens suddenly? Do you know how many trans shootings we've had in the last year? It's been like 7. Like, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. Look. I mean, all of these people are like, I mean, non-binary, gender
have to be
fluid,
a
trans,
witch to
and I
find the
think probably
magic
1
in
or
this
2 of
world.
these are
But it does
uncertain,
help.
right? But yeah, I mean, like
Open your
7
eyes.
out of what though?
Reality is but an
A lot? I
illusion.
mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of these. I don't even know what you would even say. How many of these mass shootings happen per year in the States? I don't know. I mean, like, the thing is that school shootings are they're misreported. So there are shootings that are near a school that are not really school shootings. There's just a shooting that happened near a school that has nothing to do with the children weren't the target, etc. But like a lot of people that are anti-gun and want to implement gun control, what they do is they misrepresent those statistics intentionally so they can make it seem like these things happen much more often. Now, I'm not saying that guns don't have problems and people don't get killed by them, but the way that the data is reported is intentionally deceptive. That's really my point here, right? And it's the norm in the United States. Well, it's actually extremely rare. And so the mother of Jesse Strang was a hardcore trans rights activist who wanted transgender children. She was murdered by her mass murderer son, who began transitioning as a child. Oh my God.
Here they come.
If you wish to survive, you must repair.
Good people don't spend their time harassing marginalized communities. No, they spend their time apparently. How about that? Just like your son. Wow. Killed his brother too? Is that true? Yeah, I mean, there it is, and she's dressed up like a clown. I think that's pretty accurate. Because now she's dead. This is what happens whenever you... And how much do you want to bet that... Because, again, I don't have any sympathy for these people. I don't. Because what you did is you enabled a person to go out there and kill... You drugged up your kid. You drugged your kid up, and you put them on SSRIs. You let them do drugs, and you gave them a gun. And you were letting them think that they were another gender as a child. Like, and then they kill you? That's what happens. You shouldn't have done it. You shouldn't have done this. Like, you're a moron. Like, why would you do this? Like, yeah, it's child abuse, exactly. Like, you basically, like, you hop this kid up on a bunch of drugs, crazy ideologies, he flies off the handle, and that's what happens. It's sad. I don't feel any sympathy for them at all. I feel sympathy for the families that have been killed and the people that were killed that had nothing to do with this. Really, like, I mean, again, people make this, honestly, I feel worse for the kid that did the shooting than I do for her. She's the adult. She should be the one knowing this. But instead, she gassed this up and led her son to believe all this crazy shit, let him drug himself up, take other illicit, illegal drugs, and on top of that, allowed him to have a gun. And then he went out and killed them. Bro, like, this kid is at a degree. I mean, there's a reason why you're a legal guardian. You are supposed to be protecting your kid. You're supposed to be taking care of your kid. Did you do that? No, you didn't. And you and he paid the ultimate price. And so did a lot of other people. I hate these people. They are so evil. They are so evil and so wrong and so bad. And the reason why it makes me so angry is the fact that they do it under the illusion of empathy and virtue. They are the farthest thing from empathy and virtue. They are getting other people killed so they can feel good about themselves. Makes me so fucking annoyed. My pet lion ate my arm. Feel bad for me? Yeah, exactly. Like, I let a venomous snake out in my house and I thought it would be okay, and then it bit me. And now I'm like fucked up. Well, that's what you get. You shouldn't have done it. How do your kids get clearly inappropriate antidepressants? Don't get me wrong, the parents are 100% wrong, but shouldn't these professionals have understood? No, they shouldn't understand, because the problem is that a lot of parents, whenever they don't get the correct medication for their kid, they just go to another doctor until one of them gives it to them, right? Now, I'm not saying the doctor has no accountability here, but like, here's really the tier list, right? So, right? This is just my opinion. Number one is the police. Number two, parent. Number three is going to be medical professionals. Number four is going to be school and other types of oversight. Like, you know, like school, you know, anything else, teachers, etc., right? And then I finally get down to the kid that did the shooting. That is my tier list. So he's all the way down here at number 5. Like, all of these other groups of people I think are way more at fault than he is. Like, because they're the adults, they're the professionals, they're the ones that need to be responsible. Oh, right, sorry, no, sorry, I forgot. Okay.
Disappear!
Okay. All right. We're good. So there. I'm sorry. Now it's accurate. Okay, guys.
You have made your
You're
father.
halfway.
Oh man, perfect. Exactly. Very balanced. What happened to the police? They let it happen. They let it happen. How would the police know this is going to happen before everyone else, like the mom and doctor? I mean, I'm gonna pull you up. Do you think that Palantir could have detected that this person was a risk?
Made your father proud.
Almost there. Don't turn back now. Watch me go.
You think they could? In Canada? Do we have that in Canada? If you don't, why not? Ask that. If they're not using a tool like this in order to predict whether somebody is going to be a bad actor, why not?
Feeling stronger already. Double KO.
Think about that.
Made your father proud. Good idea.
You know, so if they could, and the thing is that good point that you should always look at trying to have preventive, like if you see somebody, like here's a great example, right? If the cops see a guy and he's outside the liquor store and he's got a fucking gun, he's walking back and forth and he's like pumping himself up to go inside the liquor store, the cop should just go and arrest him before he goes in the store, right? That way nobody gets shot, nothing happens, and the problem's over. Do you really think that that doesn't manifest in a similar way on the internet? No, of course not. Of course it doesn't. Yes, you need to be ahead of these people. You need to be on top of it. So I'm going to read her comments about this, okay? We're going to see what, this is what the parents said. And Fax is a conservative-leaning libertarian who lives in the north and lives in a small town. I really hope I see the hate online is people, not true self-hatred. Do better and educate yourself before spewing online bullshit. It makes you look dumb. Evolve. Well, that's not going to happen for her. And I normally don't say anything, and I normally don't go on shitbook to see keyboard warriors, and I know I can't control everything. Whereas this year, we don't have to bring our kids up in a world full of hatred. Do you have any idea how many kids are killing themselves over this kind of hate? Please stop the bullshit. Hashtag protect trans kids. Man. Wow. What are the odds of that? Womp, yeah. That's what happens. And so anyway, not many cops have the courage to engage someone with a firearm. Oh no, I understand that, sure. If you use the right pronouns in a tweet, you get arrested in Canada. Pretty sure this could have been anticipated. Yeah, definitely. The percentage of mass killings done by trans as a percentage is actually less than the percentage of trans people in the United States. I have no idea. Like, I mean, I think that again, even if you think that trans people are more likely to commit mass shootings, they are infinitely unlikely to do it, period. Like, this is like a less than 0.1% of trans people that are going on mass shootings. So, like, I don't think that we should assign a collective guilt to all trans people because 0.001% of them did something bad. It's just not logical. It's not. Like, I don't know how anybody would even think that. That's not true for Canada? What? What are we talking about? Can we just use common sense? Let's just use logic here for like 1 second. So trans people are like 0.6% of the population, right? I think it's somewhere around there. Let me see if I can just pull this up. I can't believe I'm even doing this shit because it's so stupid. But I'm going to go back and look. What percentage of the U.S. and Canadian population is trans or identifies that way? It's like 0.6. Okay, I'm just gonna ask the same question again.
Pick your hero or villain. I'm not judging.
Fucking retard.
You don't have to be
So
a witch to
0.1%,
find the
0.8.
magic in
Okay,
this
so
world.
0.8. It was
But it
0.6,
does
right?
help.
So I said 0.6, 0.95, right? So less than 1%, about 0.3. So this is 1 in 300 people. So what is this here? Canada population. Okay, so let's just do some math here, right? Okay, let's Canada population again. Let's do it again. I don't know why it's fucked up. Okay, do it again. Do it again, slave. 41 million people. Okay, so 41 million. So basically, you're going to be looking at, let's see here, what would be, I guess, like, okay, so 41 million. So about 400,000 is, 400,000 would be 1%, right? And so you cut that in half, and it's, let's see, like, actually by a third. So you're looking at about 120,000 trans people in Canada, right? I mean, like, I'm just doing, like, very, very rough math. Like, this is not exactly, but it's about 120,000. So out of 120,000 trans people that have had this happen, how many trans people in Canada have gone on a shooting
All you
trip?
need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
Looks like rest and relaxation ain't in the cards no more.
Looks like we've got ourselves a target.
No publicly available data. Okay, so it's not even going to say. Okay, you think most of them? Can you imagine if it was 60,000 trans people that were going out there on murder rampages? The whole place would be chaos. It'd be insane. So they hide the data. They are hiding the data. But, like, it would come out on the news. I mean, how many news stories? Like, I mean, at the absolute most, let's say 20, right? Let's say there have been 20 trans mass shooters in the past, like, 5 years. Which, I mean, the reality is it's probably, like, 3. Or, like, maybe 5. But let's say 20. 20 out of 120,000.
Goodbye.
That's pretty fucking low.
Hey,
It is.
someone clip this!
That's really low. That is an extremely crazy low number. It's high per capita. I understand that it's high per capita, but that's only in the frame of reference of other capitas. Like, it's low, period. All of them are very low. All I'm saying is that, look, I don't want to argue about this, and I don't want to fight about this, because this is just a purely logical position. Very clearly that the overwhelming majority, beyond, way exceeding 99.9% of trans people do not do this. So to assign this collective accountability is ridiculous. It's just stupid. It's illogical. So anyway, I don't want to get into that any much more, but that's what I think. And then you have her, and again, all of this stuff, by the way, is, let me see if I can even pull up her account. Jennifer Strang, 8603.
Tremble before fast! David never falls!
Make sure I got it. Okay, that's good. So this is her account.
Reborn from the chaos.
Yeah, this could be it. Okay, so it is real, and we don't know whether this is actually her or not. Keep in mind, we don't know that. But this is something that she had posted, and Sheesh and Trump's son said bullets were only flying one way. I'm glad I'm not far right or far left. Political extremism, blinded by rage, is mental. Man. Man, how about that? And so she's posted Charlie Kirk Tours, Tyler Robinson, 22 white Mormon, a retired sheriff's son, and a gun enthusiast who once wore a Trump costume. He confessed and surrendered, saying he personally disliked Kirk after days of saying MAGA blaming the left. So this is a person who's trying to, like, rationalize Charlie Kirk getting shot, and apparently now she got shot. Well, that's what happens.
I may be
So yeah,
powered by
and
chaos,
Mother probably
but I'm
celebrated
trying
Charlie
to
Kirk's
bring a
death. I
bit
mean, I
of
don't know about that. I'm
order
not going to
to
say
the
probably,
universe.
right? But, like, she does seem like kind of the person that would do that, if you want me to be honest. I do think so. So yeah, that's the mother. Yeah, exactly. And again,
seconds
remember
before you
for
attack.
exponential love and
Get ready.
sexualizing children. Huge fucking mistake, man. Massive fucking mistake.
Try and keep
And
yourself under
yeah.
control.
Wait, she was killed? Yeah,
Control
the
chaos?
son killed her.
You really don't understand.
And great timing for the gun buyback program. Yeah, maybe, right? And funny how she didn't mention he was also a furry lover freak. There's nothing more ironic than trans people complaining about harassment. It's not collective accountability,
starts
like
in
they're all
5,
guilty. It's simply recognizing
4,
this group is more likely to be
3,
violent. Well, I
2,
think that here's what the problem is, right? And I was talking
All
about
you
this
need to do
earlier,
is
is
capture
that
the mission area.
the big
Got
issue
it?
with these trans shooters is that you're right, that some of these trans people are, like, very violent. I've seen pictures of it, and, you know, again, they don't have a monopoly over it, but I think that there is, like, kind of a lack of accountability for it. I think that people don't want to call out, you know, basically aggressive, hostile, bad behavior by trans people because they don't want to be seen as if they're a person who is, you know, like assigning a mental illness to a trans person. Because they think that if they do that, that's like being transphobic. So it's basically like political correctness that is effectively like not allowing people to, you know, talk about this for what it is. So yeah,
I want to make this.
the trans people aren't violent. Violent people are violent. The shifting blame on beliefs and culture is annoying. Well, here's a great example of it, okay? So I'm gonna compare this to Islam, okay? So basically, one of the big issues right now is that inside of Europe and inside, just Europe in general, you have radical Islamic crazy people that are out there radicalizing the population. These are people who got kicked out of the UAE. These are people who got kicked out of Saudi Arabia. They got kicked out of Qatar, and they're going over to instead of there radicalize people over in Europe. So the big issue of what happens is that you have these people that basically now they're sorry, I kind of
Reborn from the chaos.
for some reason the music really confused me. I'm gonna have to skip ahead. Okay, apologies. And so it's hard for me to have a comparison. Yes. So basically, they don't want to go after extremist radical Islam in Europe because they're afraid of being called Islamophobic. So you have this weird inversion where you think that the Middle Eastern countries are actually practicing in some cases and permissive of less extremist Islam than Europe is. And it's like, what a weird place to be in. And it's so bad that the UAE doesn't even want its own citizens going to Europe anymore to get educated because they're worried that their kids are going to get radicalized from Europe. These are guys that are living in the Middle East. This is a Muslim country, and they don't want them to get radicalized by foreign Muslims that are even more extreme than they are. So, but the reason why that's happening, I mean, let's just talk brass tacks here. It's because you've got a bunch of white people that are afraid of saying that any of these Muslims are going over the line. And they're saying things that you shouldn't be saying, you shouldn't be doing. And I think it's the same thing with trans stuff, is that people are so afraid of being accused of being transphobic or Islamophobic that they ignore obvious red flags. And that ignorance of those red flags is getting people killed. It does. It's literally getting people killed. And that's the reason why it's such a problem. It's not a big deal like, oh yeah, you know, somebody is like, they don't really care about some issue. But when you have people that are going out there and they're dying for this, it's a legitimate problem. Toxic empathy strikes again. That's exactly it. And that's only true for the UAE. Pull me up. I understand that, right? I mean, sure. But it's clearly not only true for the UAE because besides that, Osama bin Laden was kicked out of Saudi Arabia. It's not like all the Muslims have like a same universal viewpoint on the way that Islam should be done. If they did, they wouldn't be killing each other all the time. I mean, let's just use some fucking logic here. So anyway, my point is that it's not about that, but whenever you look at a person's ideology and you feel like you can't criticize that ideology, or people inside of that ideology don't receive criticism because people are too afraid that it will be related to some type of criticism instead, then what you have is a culture that permits violent behavior. That's the reason why. Does that make sense?
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
You are nothing!
Yeah. You get tongue policed, I know, and that matters more these days, yes. People care more about sounding good than being good. And that's the fundamental issue. Everybody cares about being seen as a good person. Nobody cares about being a good person. Because there's a lot of instances where it's like, you know, like your parent. How many times has your parent done something that made you, like whenever you were a kid, that made you angry at them, but now that you're like, I don't know, 25, 30, 35, 40, you think to yourself, I'm probably going to do that to my kid too. That was the right decision. I think that's a very common sentiment. And I would actually be surprised if there were a lot of people that didn't feel that way, other than like, you know, maybe like really toxic parental relationships. I feel like it's extremely common. So, yeah, it's supposed to be said. So, yeah, definitely all the time. And so this is a very, very common thing. And so people always want to be seen as being good, but they never actually want to do something that's good at all. Iran. And almost all radical Muslims come from Iran, by the way. They're called Shia. I understand that Iran is like that's like the nexus of a lot of it. I think you're right, but it's more complicated than that. But I do think you're right about that. It's like a different Shia and Sunni Muslim. I get that. I grew up seeing things that I wouldn't want my child to do, knowing how it made me as a kid. I think there's a little bit from column A and a little bit from column B. But the idea is that sometimes you have to make decisions that aren't butterflies and rainbows decisions, and you do that for the assurance and the safety of your future. You can't always be making a decision that makes you happy and feel good and feel like you're a good boy for your entire time. Like, you can't always be doing that. And I think that's what the big difference is that a lot of people don't really seem to understand, right? They don't. And so that's really what I'm talking about. You understand European politics and immigration problems are very flawed?
You ever got more than one ace up?
You're gonna get pulled up. You're getting pulled up.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
What's the flaw? You're just saying something. If you type something vague, you're getting banned, by the way. You have to be specific.
Then if we see
Specific or banned?
they're in for a surprise.
The battle starts in 5, 4.
Yep, we're gonna pull up
3,
roll. Yeah.
2,
Let's go. Generational
1.
username.
All you need
Actually,
to
it
do
is. Yeah, you're right.
exclamation area. Got it?
How we address the elephant room and about the Desert Eagle? It's the dumbest fucking handgun you can get. It's a waste of money. Probably played Counter-Strike, honestly. Probably thought it was a cool gun. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a cool gun too. It looks cool. Yeah, I mean, like, what the fuck? It's pretty simple. There has not been a single mass shooting by a trans, especially there have been very mass shootings in Canada. Okay, that's not even, okay, that's not even what's being discussed. As long as you think we in Europe can't speak our mind about being Islamophobic, it's just the government's either making money about it or illegal immigrants and using the system. So you're saying that there are no hate speech laws in Europe? Because there are hate speech laws in Europe. And also, like, by the way, whenever I say Europe, I'm talking about, like, Germany, the UK, and France. Like, and maybe a couple of other ones, too. Like, which specific country are you talking about? They are, but they're not enforced in all European countries. Okay, so what you're saying is that there's a law against it. I don't even understand. So, but they are enforced sometimes. They are. Like, it just doesn't even make sense. Like, yeah, how many people got arrested in the UK for fucking speech? Like, and also, like, I mean, are you trying to tell me that, like, there isn't a huge problem where there's a bunch of radical people coming over into Europe? Like, I've seen videos of it, I've seen pictures of it. Like, I mean, I think that we've all seen this. Are you saying that everything that we're looking at is fake? Like, what are you even trying to get at? How does this even work? I'm confused. UK isn't Europe? I know that. That's why I'm asking about the specific country. Greece or Denmark, which people are able to be open about illegal immigration for years. People, especially in Greece, have been illegal. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to let you go with this because I was not talking about Greece, and I know that Greece is a little bit more based about this than, like, let's say the UK is. So I should have been more specific. You're technically right. I don't like that, but you are technically right. I overgeneralize Europe regularly, and if you're going to call me out on that, I think that's fair because it's accurate. So anyway, but I was talking mainly about the UK and places like Germany. So yeah, that's fine. Anyway, I didn't want to ban the username either. It was a good username. So anyway, let me go back. I'll see if I can find any more information about this. People were talking about it. And where is it? Stripped and crowned over chanting the policy refusal.
Simply magical.
The mass shooting today happened. Oh, here we go. So they called this, this is the craziest part about it.
You brought this on yourself.
Okay. And separately, do you know the gun person's relationship to the... That includes the deceased gun person.
Okay. And then separately, do you know the gun person's relationship to
You
the...
captured more than half of the
That
mission
includes
area.
the deceased
Keep
gun
going.
person.
Okay.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Gun person. A new gender just dropped. This is what they're focused on. They're about using the right vocabulary. Oh my god. Yes, and Odessa, I love you following a prawn trap. The alleged male shooter dressed as a girl killed their family first. His family. Yeah, sure. Okay, let me go back. I hate to say I told you so. There is this. So freaking. He started transitioning at 15, was prescribed heavy SSRIs. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, like for any of the people that are, you know, anti-trans or anti-SSRIs or anything else like this is basically every stereotype rolled into one. This is every single thing that these people said is bad came true in Canada. They did, it absolutely happens. What is this here? Oh, I did see this. 3 men. Oh, and just real quick, I'll just talk about just because of this one individual that brought this up. But this isn't again the UK, and just in case anybody thinks that I'm wrong about being able to speak out about these things, in the UK, 3 British men who protested because a young girl was raped by an illegal migrant have been jailed for a longer period than the illegal migrant
Well,
rapist.
you can't expect to win them all.
Man, how about that? And not the first either. Well, this is what these people do, right? I mean, it's more important to hide the problem than deal with it. And this happened today, literally. So yeah, SSRI equals bi equals bad tape. I take them to coat for my general anxiety. I completely got a large sample, but I hate to take on SSRI equals zombie equals bad. I think that whenever you're talking about whether SSRIs are good or not, I think that there's a very obvious delineation between people that are, you know, underage and mentally ill to begin with, right? Because, like, you're talking about, I mean, I think that there are instances where SSRIs might make sense, too. It's the same as any type of medication. There are some times when it makes sense and other times when it doesn't. But at the end of the day, I do think that in a lot of cases, yeah, you have them that are overprescribed. And if they're being overprescribed to somebody who already has mental problems, then you're going to have a force multiplier on those problems, and somebody might pop off. It's pretty simple. So let me go back down. I'll find this and see if the rest of these are over there. Oh, here it is. The Canadian media is outright refusing to disclose the master... What?
We have breaking news that we want to share with you that's just into our newsroom. CTV News has confirmed the identity of the suspect behind the Tumbler Ridge mass
I may be
shooting.
powered
Jesse
by
String
fear.
is the name of the suspect. That's all the
of
information
order
that we
to
know,
the
at least at this point. 10 people, again, were killed, again, including
30
that
seconds before
suspected
you
shooter.
attack.
25
Get
others
ready.
have been injured and have been wounded, according to police. We're going to have more on the shooter's identity and what we know, too, as well as the victims, as that information becomes available. Again, the identity of the shooter has been revealed as Jesse Strang. That's, again, all the information we know at this point. We will continue to bring you the latest details as we get them. We're going to...
I mean, so they're not even saying... I mean, sometimes these news companies are, like, pretty... they're pretty slow to actually accuse people of stuff. But, yeah, it's almost a requirement for spree killers to be mentally ill. Yeah, I mean, I think it's really not that big of a surprise to see something like that happen. Let me go and see if I can find it here. This is him.
Parents, grandparents.
This is the guy that's in charge of Canada. This is the main guy.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now.
Yeah. Let's do something about it.
Mission area.
Anybody could have told you this was going to happen.
Support each other.
That's better.
Right. Okay, so this is another, like, oh yeah, let's all be sad and practice performative empathy about how bad this is. Yeah, it's sad that a lot of these people got killed. It's a fucking tragedy. But it's a tragedy that was engineered. It's engineered. And I think this is the main issue that I have, is that in a lot of these cases, these problems, like, are ignored, and they're ignored for so long that they get really, really bad, right? I mean, that's basically what happens. PM doesn't do anything? Yeah, Yeah, exactly. Carney also has a trans kid. That might be one of his worries right now. And Dave Vance lost my goodwill. What is this? Let me see if I can pull it up and find it. What did he say?
No skill shot!
If Iranians want to overthrow the regime, that's on them. There's no way, right? Did he say that? Yeah, is this even true? He did say it February 11th. I'm gonna be honest, like, if they don't get rid of the Iranian regime, like, I don't want to go off topic here too much because we're still talking about this, but if they don't do that, like, I'm really, like, that's gonna be something that I think that it's unforgivable. It really is. And also, like, them not acting is causing, you know, thousands of people to be killed. They can't? Why not? I mean, that's bullshit. I don't believe it. Yeah, it's not our problem. I get that. I don't see it that way personally, especially not after. And here's the issue: Trump even said that he was like trying to dress it up, and now he's changing his narrative after they're being killed. I think that's really fucked up, man. It's pretty easy to say. But anyway, yeah, there's more of this in general. 10 dead, including female suspect after Canada shooting. I think that really, I mean, if your focus is about getting the gender of the person right or wrong, I think that a person being trans is a factor. It absolutely is. Like, and it's a factor inside of a lot of different ways. So, for example, like if there's any sort of like life encompassing identity or ideology this person follows, I think that in general that ideology and that identity should be included. So like, for example, if somebody's a huge, like an Amish person doing this, I think that should be included because it's a substantial part of identifying who this person really is. It's the same as a person that's like a professional video game player or, you know, an NFL player or somebody who is a musician or something like that. It's important data, yeah. It's important information that helps people finally say it. Well, it's not that finally I say it. It's just like, yeah, obviously that's the case. Because I think that in a lot of these cases, they're trying to intentionally kind of hide the ball here, right? And I do think that in general, they do try to downplay the role that identity politics and these radical identity people actually have in these issues. I think they do. I think they try to downplay it for sure. Because, like, and this is just simply anecdotal evidence, but I've seen some of these videos, and, like, you remember whenever those two people were calling that black guy a house N-word, whenever he was, like, an ICE agent? I think that they got mad like that because, you know, he thought that they were the wrong gender. And so when you see somebody fly off the handle from that so fast, I think that's pretty substantial. It is. It's insanity. They're fucked in the head. Yeah, I know. There was probably Amish in his past life. Maybe. I have no idea. So yeah, let me go back. I'll see if I can find this too. And what is this? There's difference in Terrace and Lanterisco. Yeah. Go Leon Black and life being in the files. I haven't seen that at all. I don't think their identity really matters. If someone commits a heinous crime, then the headline such as "white man shoots people" is doing so for clicks and not because someone like their race or belief is actually important to. Well, it's a very big difference though, right? Because like you're talking about a voluntary identity versus a you know, intrinsic identity. Like, so everybody who's trans decides to do that. Like, obviously they're choosing to take this medication, they're choosing to dress this way. This is an action that they are taking. Like, it's something that they are doing themselves versus a religion or versus, like, let's say, well, religion's the same as being trans, right? You're choosing to do this. So a person being a man or a woman, this is a default, right? You didn't choose that. A person being white or black, you didn't choose that unless you're Michael Jackson. A person that's like, you know, tall or short or something like that, again, you didn't choose that. So that's what the difference. That's what the difference is. You see what I'm saying? Unless the culture is oppressive. Yeah, and definitely it should be focused on the individual and not the group. Someone chooses to label themselves as patrons who brought it around. Well, I think that you can do both, right? You can address the fact that they were part of a group, and you can also say that that group doesn't have collective guilt for the actions of this individual. Right? I mean, I think that both of these things are true. And the problem is that a lot of people want to talk about it with an agenda. Now, I'm not trying to talk about this with an agenda. I think this is just a simple problem and it needs to be treated that way. That's it. And I actually want to be short. Yeah. And so paint with your nose here. What the hell you mean by that? What the fuck? What the hell are you talking about? Do you think the ideology and the or the hormones is the biggest factor? I think it's everything. I think that basically whenever you go and you do this, right? So
Better get out of here.
Mentally ill retard plus HRT,
Feeling stronger already.
SSRIs, guns,
Tremble before fast! Boom! No skill shot!
that's drugs. I mean, this is very, very simple thing to say, right? It's pretty fucking obvious. And so, yeah, like you always said, what is this here? Don't forget parent? Yeah, of course, right? And we have to stop, yeah, you just defined all trans people.
I am ready
I don't
to
know
put on
about
a
them
show.
do drugs or guns, I don't know. We have to stop handling the retards with kid gloves. Make an example that causes them to think twice before they act. Well, you have to be proactive, right? And that's the issue. If you see somebody like, I'm sorry, and I'm a big Second Amendment guy, but if we have somebody who is a child who is on SSRIs doing random, illicit drugs, and they also think that they're trying to take hormones to be another gender, that's too many problems. It is, and you shouldn't have a gun. You should not have a gun. If you have that many problems, you should not have a gun. It's too risky. It is. It's extremely fucking risky. They're red flags. Especially whenever you're going out there and you're making comments. And it gets worse than that.
Very much.
And you're going out there and making comments talking about how, you like watching videos of people being killed. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? It's like, when are you gonna call a spade a spade? It's so fucking obvious what's going on. So anyway, that's what I think about it, and I'll read a few more comments, but yeah, a photo of today's trans shooter. We shouldn't give, maybe we shouldn't give mind-altering hormones to mentally ill people. Imagine that! No way! Yes, and if we do, we shouldn't give them a fucking gun. It's crazy how this is even a possibility. And this is in Canada. It's not even in America. Oh my fucking God. Family confirms identity of the trans shooter. What is this here? The trans-identified massacre was a trans rights activist. He murdered her yesterday before committing one of the deadliest massacres. Yep, exactly. And this is...
we believe we've been able to identify the shooter, but for privacy reasons and obviously for the conduct of the investigation, we're not releasing that information at that time until we're assured that we've connected with the appropriate people.
I mean, they've released it already, so it's hard to say, but this is one of the people that got shot. That's really fucking sad. 12 years old, too. Oh my fucking God, 12.
I may be
Jesus
powered by
Christ.
chaos.
And, yeah, right, exactly. Mother was spawn camped? Well, no, the kid was. The kid was spawn camped. If you have a mentally ill, virtue signal, liberal mother, and then you end up having that that mother says, like, no, it's okay for you to take these mind-altering drugs and to do SSRIs and to have a gun. Like, I actually feel bad for the kid that did the shooting, in a way. I do, because he got spawn camped. He did. Like, he has his parents doing this. He has society telling him this. He's on Reddit getting gassed up and groomed. And on top of that, he's even got medical professionals that are trying to multiply the problem by giving him drugs. Like, I mean, really, at a certain point, I mean, there's a reason I said earlier that kids aren't responsible for their own actions. Like, you should look at the adults in this situation, and you should ask them, how the fuck did you let this happen? How didn't you see this was a problem? Always comes back to the parents, yes.
And so it begins.
They're perfect shitstorm with no accountability, absolutely.
Judge!
And just right now, the system's
Executioner!
And what is this here? I thought it was more identified school shooter. I need to go off the internet. Well, I mean, it's a lot more than that, right? I mean, obviously. As a dad myself, I don't know how these parents are possibly handle this. This is brutal and so hard to hear about. Yeah, it's horrible, man. It really is. Who pulled the trigger is what matters the most. Humans have free will. He was 100% responsible for the act of killing.
Capture the mission area!
We need to disappear.
No. Like, I see what you're saying, but this is a minor. This is a minor that's done this. Do you really think that the parent bears no responsibility for not being able to identify that there's something wrong? That the parent bears literally no responsibility?
Tremble before fast!
No, full set. Yeah, you have to like, and also, like, and I get that, I get your logic, and I understand what you're saying. But I think whenever you're talking to a person, like that only makes sense inside of the context of dealing with a person of sound mind, an adult of a sound mind. Because I think that whenever you get into a situation where you're talking about a mentally ill child, I think that we should all come to the very obvious and empathetic conclusion that mentally ill children should not be held to the same standard that a man in their right mind is. I think it's very, very different. In this case, yeah, I'll let this person respond one more time. Parents are the first line of defense of the initial fail point. Hunter was an overstatement. Parents threw bare responsibility. But even if you're mentally troubled, you don't go on a killing rampage. Listen, I know that. It's very unlikely that it would happen. But I think that whenever you stack up all of these debuffs at the same time, right? HRT, being baseline mentally ill, SSRIs, drugs, and you give them a gun, you get a big problem. I think that's what happens, man. You're taking away free will and accountability. You could then say it's the fault of someone who had a rough life and commits crimes. I think in some cases that is the case. Like, for example, like schools that allow kids that are violent and aggressive and that don't behave properly, and they allow those kids and are permissive of that behavior, I do think those schools are culturally responsible for that kid escalating into violence. I think that is true. But I think that as you become an adult and everything like that, you become more and more responsible for it. And I think also, like, I look at it as like a person being underage. I understand that it's their decision, but I think also these other groups should bear a lot of responsibility too. So yeah. And I'll read a few more. How old is it again? 17, right? Which, I mean, I get 17 is not really that young. I mean, are you really a kid at 17? I don't really think so, right? But
I'm opening a portal.
This place is worth a good look.
at 12 years old, oh my god.
So lost. So let's keep fighting until we have a winner.
18 is your first release of accountability. I think that, I mean, it depends, right? So, I think it is 18 a good age for accountability. I would say that, I mean, assuming you have a sound mind, I would say 16 is probably the age of accountability. Right? Like, that's whenever, like, if somebody does something bad at 16, I think they should be treated as if they were an adult. This situation is different in my mind because of all of the other compounding mental health problems. And that's the reason why I'm kind of like drawing more of an exception with this. But, and I think that also, like, we all know, right? I mean, we all know, like, a lot of us, when did we really start making good decisions as an adult? I'd say, like, for me, it was like 24 and 25. Like, before then, I was fucking up all the time. I was still, yeah, I don't know yet. Yeah, I'll let you know when I get there, right? Yeah, so, like, I think that really, like, for a lot of guys, you know, we don't really start making good decisions until we're in our mid-20s. So, I don't think that really you turn 18 and your brain just totally, you know, crystallizes and everything's perfect either. So, yeah, can we really fully blame the parents here? The kid was so fucked up mentally at spawn? I do think so. I think that you can blame the kids. She made it through surgery. Wow, so this girl did. Holy shit. And she already raised $42,000. That's good. And this is good, man. I'm glad to see it. Never let your kids watch anime. Wait, this is a post from Cuba.
I am ready to put on a show!
Man.
Give it never! By the eye of Agamotto!
Man. He fucking knew. Huh? Yep, he fucking knew. Oh my gosh. And your birthday too? Oh boy. Oh, April 20th. That's not my birthday. That's Hitler's birthday. Okay, and what's this here? Just up here, it said he's actually started crying. Yeah, I mean, again, like, it's just, I mainly blame the parents. I do. I think I blame the parents for this. I think it's ridiculous and it's horrible. It's time to try to community gets labeled what it really is. At this point, a terrorist organization. I think that here's the problem with, I think, the people inside of the trans community that try to make excuses for this, right? And they try to say that's not it. I don't think that they do a very good job at ostracizing their extremists. And I've said this before, is that if a different community and an organization can't properly remove its extremists, it then becomes defined by its extremists. And I think that's what's happened with the transgender community. I think that's what's happened in some cases with the Muslim community. I think that's what's happened in some cases with the anime community, right? With like, you know, people into like weird lolly stuff, and those people that are seen as like, you know, the same as everything else. I think that's very weird. I know this is like a hot take, but I think that again, if you allow people like that, furries,
Hola, ¿cómo
exactly,
está?
weebs, and this is, by the way, that was much less bad than the other two. But let me go back and find it. When is the entire world condoning and supporting Iran for slaughtering its own people? Wait, what the fuck? And I'll look at it in a minute. You're totally right, though. Yeah. There's no goalposts with the trans community. The most extreme today is tomorrow. The Islamic regime has just been elected as vice chair of the UN Commission of Social. I hate the UN. We need to get rid of the UN. I'm gonna be real. I've never like what value is the UN have? Like, I mean, like, fuck this. It's just every time I hear something from the UN, it's retarded.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
And so you're right that
In the timeline
basically
where I come from,
this is kind of the big issue, is that you have a self-radicalization structure, and this is happening in both political parties in different directions, but I think that it's stronger inside of the leftist political party, like liberal political party in general, where they always trend towards the extremes. So it's not enough for, you know, people to be trans. You have to have trans representation. It's not enough to have trans representation. You have to have everybody that has compelled speech around using pronouns. It's not enough for you to have compelled speech around pronouns. Now you have to have kids that are trans. It's not enough that kids can choose to be trans. Now the kids can do it even without the consent of the parent, right? And it's just like the escalation of this is just, and I think the reason why is that I think the reason why it happens a lot more inside of leftist spaces is because of the, I think that the mental reasoning and the emotional reasoning of leftist spaces. So I think that a lot of people arrive at very, very left-wing viewpoints by using pure emotion. I don't think that they're thinking about it logically. They're not trying to do what's best for the most people. They're not trying to, you know, make the world a better place. They're trying to make themselves seem like a good person, and on top of making themselves seem like a good person, they're also trying to signal to everybody else that they're that kind of person too. So you're thinking about it, and it's not like Republicans and conservatives are like that much different, but I think with left spaces, it's like much more evident, is that whenever your goal is virtue signaling, the principles and the consequences are irrelevant, right? They're irrelevant because you don't care about what the consequences are. You just care about saying the thing to make everybody think that you're a good person. And so that's the reason why there is this continual escalation of emotional blackmail. That's basically what happens. So you're basically describing narcissism. And the reason why is that, and again, like, there are already studies that have shown that people that are like highly attached to these social issues and like these, you know, big performative issues are more likely to have personality issues like narcissism. It's obvious because every single person who wants to be seen as a good person is going to be trying to, you know, fucking parasite into every single one of these Free Palestine, protect trans kids movements because they want to be seen as a good person. They don't care about being a good person. They want to be seen as a good person. So that's it. That's why I call it social progressivism. It never stops. Exactly, yeah. And so it's just very, very weird. Someone with a mental illness didn't get the help they needed. Now more school children and kids are dead. We are not helping. Absolutely not. Nope. And it's actually crazy to see the amount of people talking about this too. Oh my god. Our country, Canada. I think that really, why is Canada like this? I mean, I think it's actually very, very simple. Canada is like this because it's allowed to be like this. That's the reason why. And also the people, I think people in Canada, and I know that I'm painting with a massively broad brush, but I think Canada has too many people that are weak-willed, that are unwilling to address these problems for what they are. I think that they are too caught up in being polite. They're too caught up in political correctness. They're too caught up in being seen as this way or another way. And they're not willing to address problems for what they are, because in doing so, it becomes impolite and uncomfortable. That's what I've noticed a lot with many Canadians. I'm massively overgeneralizing here, but I think that I think that it's true enough for it to be a trend in the country. too many immigrants, nobody wants to get deported. Well, you should have never brought in the immigrants. I think the fact that you have too many immigrants is a great example, right? Like, you really think that a bunch of Canadians want their country overrun by immigrants? No, I don't think they actually do. But they're so afraid of the social consequence of saying no that they let it happen. That's the issue. They're so afraid of the social consequence, they go and they let it happen. We're starting a Canadian Reform Party. Yep, and day after Charlie Kirk, over a white woman with blue hair at my school, we're all laughing and joking about this. This is in Canada. Well, that's because, again, you have to understand that the reason why those people think Charlie Kirk being killed is a good thing is because Charlie Kirk is a ideological enemy to them. They will kill their ideological enemies if you give them the tools to do so. So the only way that you have to solve that is you have to marginalize, minimize, and completely delegitimize any influence that they have and totally oppress people.
By the eye of Agamotto!
Absolute, complete oppression. Because if you don't do that, they will oppress you. And anybody that behaves like this, yeah, put them in a box. Put them in a box, put them in an institution, put them in jail, do whatever you need to do. And I'm not saying people who disagree with Charlie Kirk. I'm talking about people that are advocating for killing people based off of political ideology. You can't live in a world with people like that. If you lived in that world, they will turn your country into Somalia. That is African warlord, third world, PvP server ideology. I know you're right, but I struggle sleeping through the weather. Really? I quite enjoy it. It's fine. Listen, if people don't want to go, down to that level, that's totally okay. Just don't get in the way of the people that do it. That's all I ask, right? If you don't want to get your hands dirty, totally understandable. But don't complain about other people getting their hands dirty.
My life was in peril. Thank you.
What, they call you a Nazi? Who cares? Gives a fuck what they're saying. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And where is it here? So there has been also, let me see if I can pull up the other versions of it. Yeah, another just the hardcore transactivist. Oh my fucking god, this is just insane for me to see this. Let me go back and make sure I didn't miss anything else about this. Asking for transitioning advice as a 15-year-old. I also think that, and this goes back into what we were talking about yesterday with Roblox and like, internet IDs. Should we have like subreddits like r/teenagers where adults that are completely unvetted are able to have access to personally communicate with children? Is that a good thing? I think it's not. So when you have people that are identifying as being a minor, you're 15, right? We're not talking about 17. 17 is like, some people are adults at 17 have passed the age of consent in a lot of places. So we're talking about 15, okay? 15 years old. If you're identifying as 15 years old on a social media website, should you just get insta-banned? Honestly? Yeah. I think so. I hate that subreddit or notifications. Well, on Twitch, don't you? No, it's under 13. And the reason why it's under 13 is because of a law. There's a law, it's called COPPA. And that's the reason why it's the rule there. So, is Reddit liable? That's an actual subreddit? Yes, it's an actual subreddit. Male to female subreddit. Let me see if I can find it here, MTF.
The Sorcerer Supreme returns.
See if they're saying anything about it. No, even rural white voters for different approach to trans or GOP. I don't know, this is about something else. Yeah, they're probably not even talking about this at all. Cis friend mistaken for trans. Fucking bullshit. So anyway, I agree with you, but if you do that, they'll just start to use it for well, no. Like how no. This is my outlook on social media, okay? I'm gonna give you, this is my philosophy. I said this like 3 years ago, by the way. I don't think that anyone under the age of 18 should be on social media. Like, I see literally zero benefits to a 15-year-old girl with an Instagram profile. I think this is a very big fucking problem. It is a omega big problem. And I think that, again, I'm not asking for ID, but I am saying that if you have people that are identifying as an underage person, I'm not going to say 15 as a child, but as an underage person, I think that there should be an expectation that the website will automatically ban that account. And I actually think that they should be that aggressive with it. Because this type of grooming, like at the end of the day, every single time that you would ask anyone, do you want your child to have unrestricted, and unsupervised communications with an adult that you have no idea anything about them? Absolutely not. Like, at 15 is a child? I mean, again, like, I think child is before puberty. I think underage person is until 18, or minor is until 18, and then after that, you're an adult. But I think this is just vocabulary. And in the eyes of the law, you're right. Like, I think it's a silly term for me to say that a 17-year-old is a child. I think that's silly. Like, personally, it doesn't feel right saying that. But they are a minor, and they are underage, and they shouldn't be treated as if they're an adult. But you can make whatever distinction you want. So what about communication over Xbox 360 chat? I think that really it kind of depends, right? But I'm talking about social media. Like, you can go into like video games, but I think that really you should try to approach things based off of like, you know, which ones are happening when that's happening, right? And teen dude, well, I mean, 19 is a teen, but 19 isn't 13, is it? Like, look, I don't want to get into details with this. I think everybody generally knows what I'm saying. But my point is that I think that you shouldn't have kids on social media. Because when you have kids on social media, what ends up happening is they get groomed. You have people that are messaging them that are adults. You have those messages that are not being properly vetted by their parents, and something bad could happen to them. That could easily, and it's not even something bad. Sometimes you just have a conversation with somebody, and it's just a weird conversation. And even if nothing bad happens, do you still want your kid having, you know, unsupervised communications with somebody who could be a pedophile? Fuck no. Absolutely not. So, you know, a 14-year-old kid, absolutely not. So I think they should just ban anybody who says they're under 18, and they should just get rid of all these subreddits that are made for underage people. And if you self-identify as a minor, I think that you should be having your account banned. That's actually what my opinion is. And I think that there is an exception to this. And the exception are for platforms that are made for children, things like YouTube Kids. Because YouTube Kids don't have comments, they don't have peer-to-peer messaging, and they don't have any other form of like weird communication that a person can get at this kid.
Render me assistance.
Like, I have no problem with kids using the internet, but I do have a problem with kids making accounts and then communicating with adults in an unsupervised way. That's a big problem. So this has been a video. A lot of people have wanted me to watch this ever since it came out. Obviously there's been a lot of election stuff, and the big question, why are men moving right? Now, in my opinion, I think the answer to this is fucking obvious.
Hello everyone, and happy 1-year anniversary to my male loneliness epidemic. I'm happy to announce that since that video uploaded, the discourse has greatly improved. People all around the world are taking men's issues more seriously.
Well, that stopped after Kamala lost. Yeah, that's over. This is like a video from before the election. That's done.
The gender war has finally come to an end. Just kidding, everything has gotten worse and nobody has learned anything. From the witches on The View cackling about how men are useless.
Do we need men?
This is the same woman, by the way, that was upset the other day that men didn't vote for Kamala Harris. It turns out, in fact, you did need men. Kinda interesting, huh?
Men are useless.
Two women online saying they'd rather be
By
strangled.
the eye of Agamotto!
That's what you
The woods with a bear than a man.
Would you rather be stuck in a forest with a man or
Bear. It seems that things have gotten more toxic than ever, and the gender divide too.
I feel like that's one of those questions that's like a retard indicator. Like, if you think that, I automatically think that you're stupid. Like, it's not even that, like, it makes me mad. I just like, oh, okay, so you're just, yeah, you don't think about things the right way.
Be any wider, especially politically.
In 2008, 58% of young people leaned Democrat. 2012, 53%. And in the last two major election years, that percentage held steady at 55%. But in 2023, that number dipped below 50% for the first time since 2005.
Yep.
And you'll notice right here, they started to lean more Republican. And that's partly because of one specific group.
Because of guys.
Young men.
That's right. The man problem.
Okay, I know I said I was going to focus on the gender war and not talk about politics for a while. However, I found the loophole. Politics is talking about gender wars. With this election being hailed by the media as the man versus woman election, according to any and all data coming out recently, men all around the world have shifted more right, and women have shifted more left. But women going more left was not the first outrage. The outrage, of course, was about men. That's right, we got our yearly, oh no, what is happening to men? Why are they moving to the right freak out? But unlike last year, this freak out isn't solely happening on the internet. No. It's also
another big difference about last year's freak out is that this year's freak out was codified by an election. That's the big difference, I would say. That's a real big fucking difference.
happening in Washington, D.C.
There are only 46 days until Election Day. And the results are struggling to appeal to a group of voters that could determine the outcome of the election, and that is men.
The Harris campaign is making an aggressive last-minute effort to win over younger male voters.
Am I really going to make a video criticizing the Democrat Party days before the election? Of course I am. Now, before you celebrate or grab your pitchforks, this is not a pro-Trump video. This is a...
Okay, so it's a pro-Trump. See, the thing is that it's really funny how everybody who makes videos on the internet now has to preface this stuff, and you literally can't, again, you can't reason a person out of a position they didn't reason themselves into. The people that believe this shit, they believe it, they're not believing it based off of like, oh, I evaluated the facts and this is my conclusion. No, they believe this because they're mad. That's the reason why.
Who better? This is a mommy's not mad. She's disappointed. As they're live. In this video, I'm going to be focusing on Democrats' so-called man problem. So this is a discourse about men moving right. The last minute pandering the Democratic Party is doing to get them back, what they could be doing instead, and of course going over some terrible opinions. Not my opinion. I have never had a bad opinion in my life.
Yes,
except
same.
I want to we don't talk about that.
I got banned too.
In a world where it seems like everything men do and life is toxic, from eating meat to working out.
How gym bro culture is harming young men. The pressure to get jacked is sparking a male mental health crisis and driving men into the arms of the far right. It's just like this kind of thinking is just, it's so stupid.
And having a beard.
Why men's with beards are sexist. And you know what's really funny about this? Is I bet the reason why this got written is just because of J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance has a beard, so beards are sexist. It's just so, like, it's so fucking stupid, I can't even believe it. True, yes.
Oh wait, that reminds me. Before we get into this video, let's quickly give a shout out to today's video sponsor, Henson Shaving. If you've used a multi-blade razor, you're probably familiar with this story. Irritation.
This just came out today. This is from the people who made Black Myth Wukong. Black Myth is a series, not simply a game, and this is their second game. Black Myth Zongqi, I don't know how to say it now, but it's something like that. So we're gonna watch, this is a trailer for their new game. Who's that? It's a fish. It's a catfish.
There is no reason to be afraid of my men.
Bitch. Oh my god.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
It cut his ass up. Fuck.
You're a sight for sore eyes, Steve.
Wish I could say the same.
But in my timeline, I'm not sure.
That's pretty good.
In mine, it was you who first opened my eyes to the hero I was always meant to be.
And I look forward to finding out.
The battle starts in 5, 4,
Damn.
3, 2, 1.
Good animations, yeah.
All you need to do is capture the
Hey, this is some of the
area.
best cooking
Got it?
animations I've seen.
The barriers between dimensions are breaking down. It's up to us to protect it.
Oh, that's the healing item. I know that. Yeah. The gourd. Do not. Shut the fuck up.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture
Wow.
now.
That's crazy.
Capture the mission area.
How about that? Man.
I tend to lost souls, like a shepherd tends to his flock.
You went to China? Shut the fuck up.
This time I need healing.
Was there eyes on the meat? What the fuck? Oh, that guy was weird as hell.
Extermination!
Ooh. Really bad timing. Crazy bad timing. Wow. Not good, yeah. See, over in China, this is one of their myths. Here in America, this is what our elites do. These are what the presidents do. Yeah. It's like an ancient, Gothic myth, right? Or dark fantasy myth, but no, not this. This is really impressive. Damn. Yeah, myth versus tradition? Yeah.
As Sorcerer Supreme, I oversee other magical adepts.
Oh.
A shortcut through space.
You'll have to keep fighting until
At the end of the video, Jeffrey Epstein comes out from the other room. Is this a cooking game? No, it's not.
Chaos surrounds us. You don't have to be
I don't think it is, right? I'm pretty sure it's
to
not.
lost souls, like a shepherd tends to his flock.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Well, look who it is.
Peace to this universe.
Magneto raised me to never stop fighting for what I believe is right.
Man. Man.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
It's actually crazy how good these animations are. It's very weird for me to see games that are like this now. I feel like in the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, it's really gone up. It's showing off, yeah. It's incredible, yeah. Is this Flight Simulator? Yeah. Man. cool. So when's the actual game come out?
Reborn, goodbye.
Yeah, when the game gonna come out though? What's this? Oh, there's more. Okay.
Rusty.
Yeah, I'm ready for the game. I gotta beat Neo 3. I'm almost down. I think I'm almost done.
What are you aiming at?
I'm like almost like I'm like over 55 or 60 or something. It's such a good game. What are Souls like around February? Yeah, maybe. Playing eugenics next. I don't know what that is.
Your team's capture progress has passed the halfway point.
John Kui is a myth about a demon exorcist. So is it like Chinese Constantine or something? Kinda. That's cool. Who is it? Nobody knows. No, I'm excited for this. I'm gonna play the fuck out of this game. Like, back in the day, whenever Black Myth Wukong came out, like, I'll just show y'all real quick, is that I played the fuck out of this game. I put 179 hours on this game. I beat it enough to where, like, you could get the basic Wukong stance in the base game.
That's the boost.
Like, I went through, I new gamed it plus, like, 3 times, so I could unlock everything. I thought this game was fucking amazing. I love it. Wukong is, in my opinion, it's one of the best action combat games ever made. A lot of people are very, very angry today about this clip. Oh my God. When asked if he vote for Gavin Newsom or JD Vance for president, Hassan said that he would vote third party. This proves Hassan doesn't care about any marginalized groups he pretends to support. All he cares about is taking money from them so he can buy more outfits for his stream. Why do you give this? What is this? Like, this is a tiny little water bottle.
Well, you can't expect to win them all.
Okay, let's watch it.
We're disappointed in
Who do you
Gavin
vote
Newsom.
for, J.D. Vance or Gavin Newsom?
Well, I'd have to vote for Gavin Newsom.
Me
of
too.
course, 100%.
I wouldn't blink.
There's no-
What about you, Hassan?
I'd probably vote third party.
You would?
Oh yeah. I mean, at that point, it doesn't even matter. Like, cause my policy on this is the same as like my refusal to endorse Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
The reason why I did not endorse Kamala Harris was because she did things that were not only unproductive but also unconscionable.
I gotta say it. I think Hassan's right. I do. So this is the big one right here. Here we go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Behind me, I have 3 documents from the DOJ production that are emblematic of the massive failure of the DOJ to comply with the Epstein Files Transparency Act.
Yeah, why didn't it
To
happen?
my right is an email that was sent by the victims'
your
lawyers
hero.
to the DOJ, a list of
I'm not
names
judging.
not to release. What did the DOJ do with this email? They released this email in the document production. Literally the worst thing you could do to the survivors.
have
You
to
did.
be able to
Phone
find the
calls. A
magic.
lot of these
How the fuck did that happen?
and we know you touched the document because you redacted one name.
So it implies that they did look at it and it wasn't just simply ignorance.
That was in the title. The victims, survivors' names, right?
It says victims list, and you didn't think to redact that.
The title of this one is child sex trafficking, co-conspirators, fully redacted.
I've
And,
made my
by the
share
way,
of mistakes.
you know, and
But I am
redact them.
fighting every day.
Oh
to
no, this is good. So you have it redacted and they're just post-it
30
notes
seconds
and you're gonna
before you attack.
unredact them
Get
in front of
ready.
everybody. Oh, this is perfect.
Les Wexner is in
I
this. Your
feel a
deputy
kinship
attorney
with you,
general
Namor.
said, oh, well, he appears
seas
hundreds
are
of
full
times
of
in the
darkness
files,
and
but he doesn't
chaos.
appear in this file until I forced you to release it, where he's listed as a co-conspirator, not to tax
Magneto was
evasion, but
wise to offer
child
you a
sex
chance to ally
trafficking.
yourself
And then
with
finally, what we have here, these
The
are the
battle starts in
documents that we
5,
need because
4,
they have
3,
the names of the
2,
men who are
1.
implicated. So we can't even
All you
see
need
it.
to do
And
is
then
capture the
there's
So it's
something
being
Got
redacted
it?
even from Congress.
who's
Well,
response? Are you able to track?
Thank you. If I remember correctly, part of the bill was that every redaction had to be explained. Basically, it's either she's wrong or she's wrong.
Are you able to track who it was that obscured Les Wexner's name?
I believe Webster's name was listed more than 4,000 times about
It's not even the answer. She's answering a different question.
Yeah, I already told you that. This is where he's listed as a
I
co-conspirator.
finished my answer. Let me finish my answer.
Honestly, like, I love this because she's getting pulled up in chat. She's getting her cat logs pulled up.
He was already threatened like everyone's trying to cover up Webster's name.
Reclaiming
Well, somebody did.
my
I'm
time.
going to answer this question.
Reclaiming my time. I'm going to put the language of the bill up on the screen.
Within 40 minutes, you asked me a question. Within 40 minutes.
Within 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
There was one redacted.
There was only one? No, there wasn't. There were so many more of them.
Listed as a co-conspirator.
What are you Trump ran. He needs to.
You should have got rid of her after the testimony. It's so fucking embarrassing.
My position is any victim who comes forward, of course, we
Well,
would.
how can they come forward if you're not going to meet with them?
Did you ask Merrick Garland that the last 4 years?
Merrick Garland isn't here.
Did you talk about Epstein?
Merrick Garland wasn't out there saying the Epstein files were on his desk.
I'm glad you're asking about Merrick Garland.
Oh my God.
Okay, this goes over 4 years. Spans decades, and you are responsible for this portion.
And
I want to know, at what point did the FBI and the DOJ decide that Lex Wexner was not a co-conspirator? Because our Epstein file transparency requires you, please put it back on the screen,
You see her saying time's up.
to release the internal decision, and it's not in the file.
And he's a hypocrite because he voted against the ban on deep fake AI porn. Only.
What does that have to do with this? It's just, what are we doing? This is pathetic.
And you were one hypocrite.
She mad as fuck? Yeah, she is. She mad as fuck. She was like a moron. Well, here's the question, right? If Thomas Massey didn't say that he was going to investigate himself, do you think that that person's name, that Wexler guy, do you think that his name would be unredacted right now? No. And everybody knows the answer to that. Everybody knows this.
May I respond very briefly to her statement?
I think we can do that probably on one of our members.
Thank you. I don't want that to get away.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Behind me, I have 3 documents from the DOJ production that are emblematic of the massive failure of the DOJ to comply with the Epstein Files Transparency Act. To my right is an email that was sent by the victim's lawyers to the DOJ. It was a list of names not to release. A list of names not to release. What did the DOJ do with this email? They released this email in the document production. Literally the worst thing you could do to the survivors. You did it. And you're getting phone calls. A lot of these people didn't want to know. And we know you touched the documents because you redacted one name. And you redacted the lawyer's name, but you left the survivor's name there. The next document I want to show you, that was in the title. The victims' survivors' names, all right? The title of this one is Child Sex Trafficking.
There is only one
Co-conspirator,
sorcerer supreme.
fully redacted. And, by the way, I'll unredact them here. Les Wexner is in this. Now, your your deputy
30 seconds before you
attorney
attack.
general
Get ready.
said, oh, well, he appears hundreds of times in the files.
Dr.
But he
Strange,
doesn't appear
wow.
in this
We're
file
in this
until I
together,
forced you to
Tandy Bowen.
release it,
Get the
where
stars
he's
out of
listed
your
as
eyes
a
and let us
co-conspirator,
Wow,
not
cool
to
business.
tax evasion,
fate of
but to
many
child
worlds is at
sex
stake.
trafficking,
It is a mighty
not to
quest.
prostitution, not to money laundering, child sex trafficking.
The battle starts in 5.
And then finally,
4,
what we have
3,
here
2,
is the third
1.
exhibit that I
All you
have
need
is
to do is
emblematic
capture the
of the
mission area.
FD302
Got it?
release. These are the documents that we need, that you're holding on to and over-redacting because they have the names of the men who are implicated. How do we know? Because the survivors gave testimony to the FBI, and it's in there. And what happens when you go to the portal of the DOJ to look at what's behind this redaction? Another redaction that we can't even see. And then there's some of these files pulled down from the website that we will never see.
By the eye of
Because you
Agamotto!
can't search the redaction. So, I have several questions for you. Are you able to track who in your organization made this massive failure and released the victims' names? Are you able to track who it was that obscured Les Wexner's name as a co-conspirator in an FBI document? Do you have that kind of accountability?
I believe Webster's name was listed more than 4,000 times.
Yeah, I already told you that. This is where he's listed as a
Can I finish my answer? Come on, let me finish my answer. We corrected that within 40 minutes. He was already, you're acting like everybody's trying to cover up Webster's name.
Reclaiming my time.
I'm going to answer this question.
Reclaiming my time. Mr. Chairman,
How this works.
can I have my time? Mr. Chairman, the gentlelady can give her answer. Time belongs to the gentleman. All right, I'm reclaiming my time. So, I'm going to put the language of the bill up on the screen.
Chairman, may I comment on that?
Here's
Political judge, and I need to give my answer.
We'll let the gentleman respond, and then the gentleman will move
Chairman, my
Within 40 minutes, you asked me a question. Within 40 minutes, Webster's name was added back.
Then 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
There was one redacted.
He's listed as a co-conspirator.
And we invited him in. This guy has Trump derangement syndrome. He needs to, you're a failed politician.
The chairman will restore his time and remind the witnesses
Himself, there is no credible.
By the eye of Agamotto!
There were. I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals.
Is that your position as well?
My position is any victim who comes forward, of course, we would love to hear from you. 1-800-CALL-FBI. Did you ask Merrick Garland that the last 4 years? Did you talk about Epstein?
I'm reclaiming my time. I'm glad you're asking about Merrick Garland, because this is bigger than Watergate. This goes over 4 administrations. You don't have to go back to Biden. Let's go back to Obama. Let's go back to George Bush. This cover-up spans decades, and you are responsible for this portion of it.
And that's
I want to know, at what point did the FBI or DOJ decide that Lex Wexner was not a co-conspirator? Because our Epstein Files Transparency Act requires you, please put it on the screen, is to release the internal decision about whether to prosecute him or not, and it's not in the files, and it's not in the files for any of these other men. Which may she answer?
And he's a hypocrite because he voted against the ban that we were talking about on deep fake AI porn. Only 2 people voted against it, and you were one of them, hypocrite.
The gentleman's time has expired.
Mr.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, could she answer the question?
Chairman, I was wondering. The gentlelady's allowed, the Attorney General is allowed to respond the way she wants to respond to any member's questions, Republican, Democrat.
All right, I have unanimous consent request.
Gentleman's recognized for a UC.
All right, this is an example. I'm submitting these 302 forms that are entirely redacted. Even when you go to look at them.
Without objection.
I'm submitting a witness statement that implicates Les Wexner.
Without objection.
I'm submitting an article from the New York Times. The DOJ released nude photos and identifiable pictures of the victims.
Mostly there.
I'm submitting a letter from A.G. Bondi to Kash Patel, imploring him to quit keeping the files when you found out that they were keeping files because we're still redacting files.
Chairman, are we going to? I am going to recess for votes.
I'm submitting for unanimous consent a document of 17 individuals who was indicted because of Epstein files.
Without objection.
Supreme returns.
Just want to check on how much time we have left in votes, but one thing I've learned here is oh wait. We just called. Okay. The chair now.
Several issues. I'd like to have unanimous consent to introduce the National Security Presidential Memorandum 7 dated September 25th, 25. The Bondi Department of Justice memo dated December 4th, 2025. An article from Newsweek entitled DOJ Deletes Study Alleging Rise in Far-Right Terrorism dated September 18th, 2025. Notice article from October 3rd, 2025. Trump's directive on organized political violence could lead to increased surveillance of his critics. Washington Post article, September 25th, 2025. Trump targets domestic terrorists but only mentions the radical left. Idaho Capitol Sun, October 18th, 2025. Rest easy, Idahoans, the New King demonstrators are attacks on freedom of speech, what nonprofits need to know, published by the National Council of Nonprofits, the largest network of nonprofits in America.
By the eye of
Freedom from Religious Foundation warns that the memo weaponizes federal law enforcement against non-Christians and dissenting viewpoints. A Ken Clipperton's log on January 28th, 26, ISIS secret watch list of Americans. An Intercept article from February 2nd, 26, Trump calls his enemies terrorists. Does that mean he can kill them?
Without objection, the gentleman from Florida is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Attorney General Bondi.
Good afternoon.
Oh, you're right. Good afternoon. It's been a long day. I wrote this morning. We've known each other a long time, and I'll always be appreciative for your assistance when we were in Florida after shooting at my high school, Marcus King Douglas. In my hometown of Parkville, we passed a bipartisan bill in Marcus King Douglas, which was the largest policy response to a school shooting in American history. Your department also prosecuted cases between the law, constituent of mine, and former felon that had planned to kill me, and he was picked up by law enforcement after he was target practicing in his backyard with 2 rifles, a scope, silencer, 3,000 rounds, ammunition, anti-Semitic manifesto, minding the only name on the target list. My kids found out about this in their phrases. So thank you. However, the most transparent... I am ready to put on a show! It's been 12 months since you gave Republicans the memo came out and said that there was no list. Phase 2 of the binders never happened. The President of the United States says the Epstein thing is a hoax. Blast his own base and wanted the release of the files.
By the eye of Agamotto!
Republicans voted against the release of the files in the Rules Committee, and they refused to even return to the Rules Committee until they could be protected from future votes on the release. Speaker Johnson sends Congress home a day early before break. They sent the Deputy Attorney General to meet with Maxwell. She says something favorable about the president. Miraculously, she gets transferred to a minimum security facility. No one can explain why. Miraculously, the leaks to the Wall Street Journal stop. We come back from break. We have the massive discharge petition. Republicans drop a rule, a non-binding resolution trying to stop the massive discharge petition. The White House says passing the massive discharge petition is a hostile act. Trying to stop the necessary 218 signatures, according to Republican members that signed it, the White House threatened them to a situation. You know, the place where the president goes to find the war. Promising things like appropriations and even the primary on the room say you were there. It didn't work. We get the 218 signatures. We eventually passed the massive petition. You guys didn't release the files. You were forced by Congress. Every member of the House except one, and the entire Senate. The reason the president signed it is because it was a veto-proof majority. We can't agree on anything, and yet the entire House but one member and the whole Senate forced the administration to release the file. Captain Tucker Post said to Senator Kennedy, the FBI is not collecting any credible evidence that Epstein trafficked girls to anyone but himself. We know now that's not true. According to documents, Epstein had a worldwide sex trafficking ring. Girls from Poland, Czechoslovakia, Russia, Paris, modeling agencies, even had a relationship with a summer camp where Korean girls had pictures. Elaine Maxwell said 29 Epstein associates touched secret DOJ deals. I am ready to put on a show. 6 names but we got them. Maxwell recently files a House Oversight Committee.
By the eye of Agamotto!
Pat Patel on the Post said Trump's name appeared less than 100 times in the file. We now know that's not true. Trump's name appears more times in the Epstein file than God's name appears in the book about God. Okay, by the way, this is the Trump file. Trump's name also appears more times in the Epstein file than Harry Potter's name appears in the 7 books about Harry Potter. Lutnick says that in 2008 he went to Epstein's home, says he had a massage table in the living room. Epstein said he got one every day, that it was the right type of massage. He and his wife decide to leave and say they'll never be in a room with him again. Howard then says, I'm sure the Epstein stuff is all on video. He was the greatest blackmailer of all time. Well, how would Howard? But now, the fire of the public. And in 2012, we found out that he and his family are on Epstein Island. After Epstein pled guilty to state charges. I'm from Florida, my family that didn't move onto Epstein Island. There are documents in the files that dispute the president's claim that he kicked Epstein out of his club. Allegedly, the president said that he asked Epstein to leave. Supported now, that's disputed though, statements from the manager